That'll be that then. Anyway, we're lucky to live in the best city in the UK, and us Scots can be fiercely patriotic. Now, a new book captures memories from famous Scots of their homeland. Brian Cox, Ewen Welsh, Sir Jackie Stewart feature with 58 celebrities and sharing their favourite places. We are lucky to be joined now by its author Anne Graham, and lovely to have you.
Lovely to be here. Thanks for having me.
Huge names in there, massive names. How did you get them all to collaborate? Was it an easy job?
It wasn't an easy job because, as you know, it never is when you're talking to people who are Hollywood stars. They've got a publicist, they've got an agent, they might have two publicists, they might have 2 or 3 PAs. So the hard bit was getting past the gatekeepers. Once you get past the gatekeepers who are sort of trying to protect the name, they've all been fantastic. It's just a case of getting beyond the people who actually are trying to sieve out the people who actually are going to do something, or the people who are just chancing it, really.
So what made you come up with this idea? Because it's brilliant.
It's unique, it's different, and it gives you an insight into famous people's lives and how they think and what they like about Scotland.
I think, well, I love Scotland. I'm a Geordie, not a Scot, but I live on the borders, and I think one of the reasons that it appealed to me was that I'm an old school newspaper journalist, and you know, in the days before the internet, you'd write something, next day it's gone. Here today, gone tomorrow, literally. You know, tomorrow's fish and chip wrapper.
Very disposable, isn't it?
It certainly was then. I mean, now obviously things are more online and you can catch up with stuff. But you know, I would write something. I think that's too good to just have on display for a day and then it's gone. Or you know, I'd read a newspaper one day and I think I'm so glad I got it that day because I wouldn't have known about it otherwise. And so when you do interviews with people like Doug Gray-Scott and Brian Cox and Judy Murray and people like that, they've got so much to say, and it just seems a shame for it not to have a bit of, a longevity about it.
Who's the biggest name that you've got in the book?
Ooh, it's quite hard to say. Brian Cox, I suppose, CBE.
Yeah.
Catherine Granger, Sir Jackie Stewart, Nicola Benedetti, who was lovely.
Ewen Cameron?
We couldn't get him, he wouldn't do it.
Well, do you know what? I see a little wee post-it tag sitting out here.
I do get a mention in the book from my radio colleague Kat Harvey. My question is, how did you approach these huge celebrities from all over Scotland? I mean, was it an easy process?
Well, yes and no. I mean, I'm sure in journalism you have your personal contacts.
Yeah.
And if you can bypass the formal routes, then then you're in. Someone like Brian Cox, I didn't have any contacts for him, so I went to 2 or 3 publicists, an agent, somebody else.
Hung about some bars.
It just went round and round and round the houses, and no, we're not doing that anymore. And the film studios, and it's just tough. But I got to speak to his PA, who lives near where I used to live, and we got on famously, and she said, don't worry, I'll sort it for you, and she did.
Oh, brilliant.
And she also brought in Bill Patterson for me, so I'm very, very pleased with having help like that. And of course also, you get people who will say, oh, well, why don't you try so-and-so? And that would be good. I'll ring them for you. And so that can sort of help ease the process.
Let me ask you, of all the amazing people that are in this book, who is the most difficult to get a hold of?
Probably Brian.
Was it Brian as well? In
the sense that I tried ages and ages ago, but the good thing about him was I knew he was happy to do it. Yeah. It was just getting the time.
So, like, people like Doug Gray-Scott, Hollywood stars and Olympic medalists, they were all quite easy to get.
Relatively so. Doug Gray-Scott, who I thought, I'll be so lucky if I get him, was actually quite simple. I think I got through via an agent. She said, yes, he'll do it. Can you do tomorrow? Yes. So he was at home in Hollywood, giving his children breakfast. You know, I could hear him going, stop, don't drop out on the floor. Sorry, Anne, sorry, Anne. And I was thinking, what if he's in a onesie or furry slippers? But no, it'd be warm there, so maybe not. But yeah, fantastic and very easygoing and great sense of humour and knew Scotland. All of Scotland really well, which was good. It wasn't just, the area he's from.
Let's just quickly touch on Nicola Benedetti. She said that Edinburgh was her favourite place. What was it that
she liked the Usher Hall because that was where she won her Young Musician of the Year award.
It's quite nice and personal.
So she said it has very positive, links to her. She really liked that.
Lovely.
It's an amazing book. Thank you so much for telling us all about it.
Pleasure.
And I'll be taking it home with me.
Please do.
Cheers. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's it for tonight. In just a moment, Scary Void will be playing us out with Can You Hear Us?
And tomorrow we've got a Panto special.
Yes.
We're going to be previewing The Lion, the Witch and Wardrobe and talking to Grant Stott. He's behind you.